fun-filled show today, which is awesome. I enjoy those, the interaction. 504-260-0995. And I've got Dwayne Stein, host of Mortgage Gumbo. So we're kind of talking interest rates, mortgage payments, housing prices. Oh my gosh, there's just so much going on right now. And, you know, we were talking earlier, Dwayne, about the interest rates and the 10-year treasuries, and the Fed messed it up as usual. They should have already been, you know, raising interest rates, and then the government on this just keep handing out money and create more cash available than supply. So that's the impact. But all of a sudden they're having to play catch up where they should have been adjusting the interest rates actually the past couple years. Once we got out of lockdowns with COVID, it was time to start adjusting that far back, which isn't very far back, but that's when they needed to start tweaking. Right. And yeah, there's always going to be pain when you raise interest rates. The markets don't like that. The consumers don't like that, but I kind of look now, the 10-year treasury's kind of at a normalized rate. We're above 3%. I think the world works better with 3% treasuries. Now, Dwayne may not like that on the other hand. He said, no, the world works better with 3% mortgages.
Right.
So, but that's an adjustment going forward. And you're seeing a lot of people that have been consumers for a while, have gotten out of school, you know, and I can't get all the demographic names right. There's so many of them, Gen Z, millennial, all those. But I'd probably say those in their 30s have kind of like been in a marketplace that does well, the stock market, and have had low interest rates and real estate values going up. And then all of a sudden they're into this world like, interest rates going up, market going down, mayonnaise up 16%. You know, it's just, it's crazy times. Yeah. So with that said, let's talk about existing home sales, because some of the people I've been talking to lately and callers into the show have kind of asked in a way that, like, I've been shopping for homes and, you know, it's just like, oh my gosh, things have gone up now. Interest rates going up. Should I wait and stop, or should I still go out and try to buy something, or do I wait 2 years? What are your thoughts?
Well, existing home sales, and just to kind of, you know, Danny, what a great caller, a lot of passion there, right? So, but yeah. Here's what I could tell you, Danny, the rubber's meeting the road, and buyers have started to, and this is why, as crazy as it sounds, even though rates are up, I'm doing a lot more purchases now than I was in the beginning of the year, because like you said, the Gen Zers, the, you know, millennials, snowflakes, whatever they're calling them these days, their world's always been, oh, pretty cool. And let's face it, none of us want to hear about how mom and dad did it walking 5 miles in the snow on sandals and all that stuff, right? So when our parents are going, hey, I was paying 15%. Yeah, what do you know? You know, go crack yourself a Mr. Pibb and chill out, right? So for Danny and for everybody, existing home sales are down 10%. And it's getting a lot. It's going to existing home sales, as far as I'm concerned, and let me be clear on what an existing home sale is. If Dwayne Stein sells his house that he's living in right now to Gregory, well, to Gregory it's a new home, but it's considered an existing home. New home sales is brand new. Nobody's ever lived in it. So I just want to make sure I'm clear when I'm saying existing home. It may be new to that person that's buying it, but I want them to know where I'm coming at with these numbers. So 10% down year over year. So why is that? And why do I think it's only that percentage is going to keep going up? It's simple. Who's going to refinance their house, like Danny said, if they're sitting at 2.75, right, and sell their house even though they can make a couple bucks, to go pay 5%, 6% on a bigger house unless you're downsizing, right? So it costs less to fix up than it does to move up, right? So if people like their neighbors, that's where the refinances were coming in. That's where people were spending more money at your box stores and doing home improvements. So that's why you're seeing that. But existing home sales, when I talk to realtors, that's not even. Now, are you going to have them? Sure. You get promotions, divorce, downsizing, just can't afford it anymore. And like we've been talking about, those are the things that why inventory is so short. They're just attrition, world attrition that has worked for so long. They put a plug in that. And now the water, it looks good, right? You're filling up that bath water. Look how beautiful, crystal clear water. I can't wait to sit in this. And then when you get out, you go, whoa, that water is dirty now. And that's the problem we're having now.
Well, once again, I think it cycles.
Yes.
And when housing's, these prices that they're getting where everybody's selling above market prices and getting bid up, that is going to dry up.
It has, Gregory.
In some markets, and it's going to slow.
Yes.
And if they can't get buyers, then what do? They drop the price. That's going to work its way through. Now, the other thought I have is, when investing also has to do with time horizon. How long are you investing for? How long can that money work? Real estate, that home that you're wanting to buy, how long do you plan to keep it? Because we know over the long haul that 10 years from now, I have a strong belief that home's going to be worth more than it is today.
Absolutely.
In the short term, that price might pull back some. And that's what you got to look at is how long are you wanting that property? Let's jump over to the phones again. The Winning at Life hotline, 504-260-0995. Thomas, calling from New Orleans East. How can we help you today?
Elderly person, and I want to invest in CDs. So I was wondering if you could tell me when the the Fed will raise the interest rate?
Well, interest rates, what's really impacting interest rates is the market rates. The Fed's going to be bumping rates, throughout this year and next year. So it's moving up, which is also going to impact the market. If you're looking for CDs, I would kind of try to stick to anywhere from 2 to 5, not longer, because I don't want to lock in these lower rates that are going to be up for the long term. And that's kind of how I see that. Now, the banks are going to be a little tighter on that going up, but insurance companies have what is defined as MIGAs, multi-year guaranteed annuities, and I will also call them CD annuities, and those typically have a little bit better rates than what the banks are giving on 3, 4, and 5 years out there. So that's some of your options right there regarding short-term interest rate.
Well, I didn't want to, like I said, I didn't want to go too long, maybe 2 years, because I'm 80, so that's why I'm trying to deal with CDs right now, because I didn't want to go no long-term interest because of my age.
Yeah, that's going to be a low rate, and that's okay if you're going with 2 years. You're going to be cycling, especially if you're laddering. You can keep adjusting that upward because you're not locking in for very long. There's just not a lot of yield there right now on that. Example, 10-year treasuries are just now above 3%. So think about it from that standpoint. 2 years is not going to get you much yield right now.
Yeah. Well, they're paying around, the interest rate is about 2.10 right now for 2 years.
I'm sorry, repeat that.
They're paying 2.10 for 2 years right now.
That sounds like a good number for 2 years. Yeah.
I could get that, but I was trying to wait till it went up a little further, a little higher, but I don't want to wait too long because it might go back down.
Well, you can laddering. You can put some to work and then some more to work again in 90 days. Think about that. You're listening to Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks. If you want to join the conversation, 504-260-0995. We'll be back in a couple minutes. I'm going to plug what we kind of do as my day job during the week. We help you with your money. We're money managers, we're strategists, income planners, investments. Another is healthcare, whether it's long-term care or Medicare, and having supplements and such, estate planning. And then the fifth part is tax planning, creating tax efficiency. Regardless of the area you're listening to across the country, we can do video meetings. We can start with a phone call, do Zoom meetings. As far as in office, I have an office in Gulfport, Mississippi, in Mandeville, Baton Rouge, and also in Metairie, Louisiana. So the office number is 504-832-9200. The website is gregoryricks.com. And I look forward to hearing from you.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Mom, it stinks.
Hush, I'm almost done. All right, now you're safe from bugs in the backyard. Don't let mosquitoes ruin your outdoor fun. Call Mosquito Joe today. When you call, they come out and they do the spraying. Mosquito Joe's time-release capsule lasts for about a month. No more sticky bug sprays. Take back your backyard. NewOrleans.MosquitoJoe.com. NewOrleans.MosquitoJoe.com.
Ask Gregory is a financial podcast from the guys who bring you Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks. Learn the ins and outs, do's, don'ts, rules, and tools of the financial world. So if you have a financial situation or you just want to learn more about money, ask Gregory. Find the Ask Gregory podcast on the Winning at Life app or wherever you get your podcast. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. The firm is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any government agency.
The Ricks Report with Gregory Ricks.
I'm young, I'm 22 years old, and I'm just now starting to get into the 401k and the percentage and stuff. How much money do I need to save to, retire at around, 60, 65 years old?
So first off, one of the first rules, if you're getting a match, you need to get 100% of the match. The match is free money. Those that are putting off turning on their 401k because I need that money every month. No, you need to get the match. That's the priority. What's great for you is you're taking advantage of one of the greatest things on the planet, and that's compound interest and time. At age 22, you're not going to have to put away a lot to achieve this goal versus if you wait to 35 or 40, it's going to seem like a mountainous task.
Winning at Life with Gregory Ricks. Saturday mornings at 10 on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Find us on the Winning at Life app or GregoryRicks.com. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Nowhere to go, nowhere to be. I got my shades on, top back, rolling with the music jack, one on the wheel, one around.
Hey, y'all. You're listening to Winning at Life Radio. I'm your host, Gregory Ricks. Yeah, over 12 years into this show at this time. Hey, I've got an index number for you, and an index that tracks the cost of building materials and supplies has increased 69.9% between January of 2020 and April of 2022 since the start of the pandemic. Let's see, where'd that stat come from? Bureau of Labor Statistics. There. So that's one reason housing is going to be more. New construction is going to cost more, which kind of, building materials going up, labor going up. Yeah, big impacts there. Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
I was thinking about credit, and if some people are having to save up a little bit more at this time because things are going to cost more, or they're wanting to wait to see if things come back down to earth some. And I think that's more a concern of a short-term buyer where somebody's saying, I just, do you have people that buy houses that kind of say, yeah, I'm just wanting this place for a couple years, 2-3 years?
Everything changes. You've got a saying I've learned for years, life happens, right? So what game plans are sometimes are not always the initial. You got to be able to call an audible. So when it comes to credit, let's face it, credit's right up there with air and water. And and I tell people, because without it, it affects everything, whether it's homeowners insurance, mortgages, car rates, you name it. It's about credit, jobs. So what we like to do, and one of the things that I want to make sure that your listeners understand as well is, I created 2 years ago what's called Snap, Send, and Save. Well, now on there, we have a services tab that you could go click on, and it's a free credit evaluation where we can pull your credit. It's a soft pull, but it's not like those other folks that you see on the commercials and all that. It's a legitimate credit pull because of the company we work with, and we do so much work with them. They allow us to do a soft pull, which does not hit your credit report. It's not an inquiry, yet it gives me the same score that you would get, which allows me to be able to look at and go, all right, hey, Gregory, here's what you need to do to improve your score, right? So right now, while people are going, wait, I hear that a lot. And I just sent out a survey to 2,500 agents, and starting to read some of the ones that are coming in. You know what a majority of them are telling me? It's not interest rate. It's people want to wait. Now, why do they want to wait? Home prices and, of course, interest rate as well. It's the reason for waiting. Interest rate isn't what's keeping them from buying now. People who can buy are buying. So credit, what I'm looking at is I want to help as many people as possible. If you're not ready right now, why use that word wait to see when you think it's time? There's a lot of people right now that are buying houses who weren't ready, but we got their credit ready. So now they can look. Now they can take advantage. So, credit's not something that's just going to go away. And we see it every day. There's a lot of people out there who have the philosophy when they were young, and people make mistakes, and I was one of them. I'll show you cell phone bill. I won't pay you. I'll show you electric company when I move out of the apartment. I won't pay you for that last month and and all that. So right now, credit, this is more of a time than ever to be getting that in check. And let's at least find out what your buying power could be. Maybe that'll motivate you. And you saw the numbers, Greg. Rent up 5.2% year over year with the inflation numbers. I mean, to me, rent's like an adjustable rate mortgage, Gregory, which we know how we feel about that. Yeah. Rent's that annual adjustable rate mortgage that just keeps going up. So,
yeah, you're kind of right. And as a renter, inflation can impact you. Yes. As a homeowner, your payment doesn't get inflated. Right. The only thing inside of that payment that could be affected, that's your homeowner's insurance. But that interest and principal payment is not going to change if you have a 15, 20, or 30-year fixed loan. Adjustable rates you shouldn't be doing anyhow. But, you're not going to have inflation impact that. And over time, the value of your home is going to go up in value, and you should make a home purchase and kind of have, some time expectation to be there. And the other thing you were mentioning earlier is, the fixer-upper world. I remember there's a show or something on one of the channels. I think it's Love It or Leave It or something, whether you can remodel the yeah, that's it. Love it or list it, but it's kind of his decision. Do I love it or am I leaving it? So they do a remodel and they're out there shopping for the others. And I think I've seen it a few times, and it's like they choose to keep the home after it's remodeled. So some of that thinking there, updating, adding on, that creates value and might make you happy with it versus having to go through all that to buy another. Yeah. Just a thought on that right there.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and your Home Depots, all those big box stores, their stuff's doing okay right now, right? Because people are doing that. And I think that's what we're looking at right now. And like we mentioned earlier, if you like your neighbor, chances are it costs more to move up than it does to fix up, right? Maybe that's a show me and you need to do, Gregory, instead of love it or list it. hey, don't move up. Let's fix up, right? So, and get some painters and stuff on here, as if we needed more work to do a week. But anyway, so what we're looking at.
So I'm going to jump in here because I want to squeeze something in. We only have a few minutes left. But once again, you made a thought a few minutes ago, and that's even when people skip out or kind of don't want to pay that last month of cable or the last month of rent and such, where you were mentioning there, the real important thing is to be that person that always pays your bills responsibly.
Yep.
And no late pays. It just isn't acceptable, because if you want to be able to get credit, what they're looking for is people that will pay the bills. That makes your life better, to be that person and not have those hiccups.
Willingness.
And don't overspend. Don't get too much debt that puts yourself into the jam. I always talk about margin. Always have room that, what your income, what's coming into your banking account should be more than what's going out. And you should keep that and not spend to where you get squeezed. I'll let you take it back, Dwayne.
Well, willingness and ability to pay, Gregory, that's what we look at. But listen to these numbers, and this is why when I say more pain coming. Right now, credit cards or revolving debt, which means you don't have a fixed payment, increased in the last 12 months by $124.5 billion with a B in the last 12 months. That's the largest increase ever, okay? Now, in the last month alone, Gregory, revolving debt went up.
We're losing you, Dwayne. For some reason, you're cutting out.
You got me now? What about
from
now?
us?
You got me?
Hey, tap your mic cables.
All right, you got me?
Looks like we've lost Dwayne at this point. So,
you got me?
Well, awesome. It's always a joy to have Dwayne Stein on. And
hello.
Reach out to him, that team.
Hello.
Answer questions. I always kind of look at him as a problem solver. I myself have worked with him and seeked out his help in the mortgage arena. So, and at the end of the day, you got to work who you're comfortable with and get you some help. I'll share one negative, I think, in the mortgage world, and it sometimes, depends on what you're trying to do. But, it seems like you do a loan with somebody, they sell it to somebody else for servicing. So, I don't know that goes away, or you find somebody that does that, but that's just kind of the way the industry works out there. And I'm not commenting on that, anything to do with Dwayne or any banker, but it is just kind of the way the world works. When you do the credit report, like signing up for Social Security, and they ask you your who's handling your mortgage, you need to be familiar with some of those things to sign up for your SSA account. So if they've resold it, something, and your spouse is handling that stuff in the household, and you're trying to fill that out and sign up, like, well, I thought it was this firm. Well, it's another now. And that kind of goes on out there. But I'm excited about the future and the opportunity. I